Hello, everyone, back with an IRS tax refund update. On this episode, we will recap the latest tax refunds that have just been released and transmitted to banks nationwide. Meanwhile, for those of you still waiting on those tax refunds, whether you have filed electronically or by paper, facts continue to emerge that there will be some groups of taxpayers who may experience delays anywhere between 6 months to 1 year. So we will take a look at that and those who are most likely impacted. Now, with an estimated 40 million unprocessed or pending tax returns that are being held by the IRS, including many of yours, there are groups of taxpayers that are falling into different categories when it comes to processing, as well as the amount of time they're going to have to wait for those refunds. Ultimately, in the end, we're looking at unacceptable delays for all of you who are owed these legitimate refunds. By now, many of you, especially those who filed electronically, have received one, if not two, of these 60-day notices from the IRS as seen here, indicating the IRS needs additional time with your account. The common response people who are receiving this letter are getting is that the IRS has not received wage information from your employer, so they're not able to reconcile the wage earnings you reported on your taxes versus what should be reported by the employer. Now, really, most employers have in fact submitted their taxes as they're required to do so on time. So what we're seeing is some of these processing delays are now just being blamed on your employer rather than the more common reason, which appears to be the IRS has just not processed those employer tax returns, similar to what you see here. The latest figures show that there are nearly 4 million unprocessed employer quarterly tax returns that are leading to these delays. Ultimately, what everyone wants to know is when in fact they'll see those three bars on their refund status results page like seen here and receive their tax refund. Now, we have a little more clarity depending on the particular situation, especially when it comes to paper tax returns and amended returns, because we ultimately know why some of those delays are happening. The biggest concerns and questions involve those who have filed electronic returns that have seen no update. This by far is causing the biggest amount of frustration this tax season, and in many cases, it really appears the IRS never received those tax returns, even though taxpayers have confirmation they were accepted. One of the questions being asked by those impacted is if they should resubmit those tax returns. Now, generally speaking, taxpayers often advise against resubmitting because it can lead to further issues, including your IRS account getting flagged and further refund holds. Now, the key is if you did receive that accepted confirmation from the IRS, because that means at the very least your tax return is in the IRS system. For those of you who filed paper returns, you unfortunately and very unfairly are going to see some of the longest waits when it comes to receiving that tax refund. You are often told just to file electronically, but as we see, filing electronically does not automatically mean you're going to get that refund faster. The delays in the processing of paper returns stems directly from technology and staffing issues, some of which should have been dealt with over 20 years ago. Now, one of the reasons why states are much faster processing those refunds is because, in fact, their technology has been updated and far better than the IRS. Now, for those paper filers, the National Taxpayer Advocate indicates those delays may take up to 6 months, which again is unfortunately realistic because there are those paper filers at this point who are at the 4-month mark. For those filing amended returns, some are going to be among the group who will experience the longest wait times. Case in point, one of our viewers who filed their 2020 tax year amended returns back on May 1st of 2021, they waited over 1 year until finally seeing an update just days ago on May 20th, as you see here. Now, for most, we're in fact expecting those amended processing times to take below the 1 year mark, but there may be cases that in fact it does reach that year mark, so do be prepared. And finally, the latest batch of tax refunds have been released by the IRS and transmitted to banks nationwide. Now, while most will receive that refund in their accounts the day of, some taxpayers may expect to wait an additional 1 to 2 business days for it to post. If you're not received it by Monday, May 30th, then you may want to initiate a payment trace to locate that payment. Again, thank you to everyone who continues to reach out. This by far continues to be one of the worst tax seasons on record when it comes to delays, and many of you are being impacted. In the meantime, we will keep monitoring the situation for further developments as these delays continue. Make sure to click on the thumbs up and the subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.